this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We're looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, the day support, resistance and pivot levels and the Fibonacci's. It is Wednesday the 24th of February. Looking at Bitcoin against the US dollar and the hourly candlesticks, another bearish start to the day for Bitcoin. Going to need to see Bitcoin move through the pivot at 49,337 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 53,675. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break back through to 50,000 levels, however. Barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level. And resistance at yesterday's high, 54,138 to cap any upside. In the event of a rebound, could see Bitcoin test resistance at 55,000 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 58,475. Failure to move through the pivot would bring the 23.6% fib at 45,501 and the first major support level at 44,537 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should avoid the second major support level at 4199. Looking at the MACDs, slight widening of the bullish histogram after yesterday's late bullish cross, providing some support early on. But looking at the EMAs, the 50 has pulled back further from the 100 and the 200, with the 100 closing in on the 200, giving a bearish signal and pointing to further downside ahead. So key through the early part of the day, move through the pivot at 49,337 and break back through to 50,000 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failures to do that and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, it's also a bearish start to the day. We're going to need to see Ethereum move back through the pivot at 1572 and the 23.6% fib at 1579 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 1789. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break back through to 1700 levels. Barring an extended rally through the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 1783.22 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended crypto rally, Ethereum could test resistance at 1900 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 2000. Failure to move back through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 1362 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should steer clear of sub 1200s and the second major support level at 1145. The 38.2% fib at 1292 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, slight widening of the bullish histogram this morning, providing some support. On the EMA, however, the 50 has pulled further back from the 100 and the 200, with the 100 also pulling back from the 200, both of which are bearish signals. So key through the early part of the day would be to break back through the pivot and the 23.6% fib and move through to 1700 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, support levels are in play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, also bearish this morning. Going to need to see Litecoin move through the pivot at 181.74 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 204.79. Going to need to see support from the broader market, however, for Litecoin to break through the 23.6% fib at 195. Barring an extended rally on the day, expect that 23.6% fib to leave Litecoin short of that first major resistance level. In the event of an extended rally, Litecoin could test resistance at 210 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 231.98. Failure to move through the pivot would bring the 38.2% fib at 163 and the first major support level at 154.55 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay clear of the second major support level at 131.50. Looking at the MACD, also a slight widening of the bullish histogram this morning after yesterday's late bullish cross, providing some support. On the EMAs, however, the 50 has pulled further back from the 100 and the 200, with the 100 also pulling back from the 200, both of which are bearish signals. So key through the early part of the day, Litecoin will need to move through the pivot at 181.74 and back through to 190 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failures to do that and support levels are in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, mixed start to the day. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid a fallback through the pivot at 0.4715 to take a run at the first major resistance level, 0.5759. Going to need to see support from the broader market, however, for Ripple's XRP to break back through the 23.6% fib at 0.5320. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that 23.6% fib to leave Ripple's XRP short of that first major resistance level. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ripple's XRP test resistance at 0.60 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 0.6754. A fallback through the pivot would bring the 38.2% fib at 0.4632 and the first major support level at 0.3720 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should steer clear of the second major support level at 0.2675. The 62% fib at 0.3521 should limit the downside. On the MACD, we got a widening of the bullish histogram at the turn of the day, providing early support. On the EMAs, however, the 50 has pulled further back from the 100 and the 200, with the 100 also pulling back from the 200, which are bearish signals. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fallback through the pivot at 0.4715 and break back through to 0.50 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels are in play.